convention preview, Ready Row USA. We are going to be on about 4 times this week. We're going down to the convention on Wednesday. We'll be there Thursday, and we'll be broadcasting live and also rolling in some clips from our correspondents, Tara Morgan, Ryan Worth, and Brenda Ballinger. So they're going to be roaming around and doing some coverage, and we are a media partner of the USRowing this year, and we hope for many years to come. Anyway, I'm Charlotte Pierce. I'm the producer, and I'm here with Chris Chase, who has done a lot of the programming for the rowing convention. Is that right, Chris?
That is correct.
Yes, I heard that you're a busy bee. But I want to just preview a few, or let people know about a few things that we have, like a little business here. Let me just kind of trying to pick out there we go. Are we screen sharing? Perfect. Nice. Yeah, so you are Chris Chase, and I thought we could, do a little bit of whatever you think is important, and then I know Coastal, I'm going to be talking with John Wick later in the week, and the Coxswain's track is kind of new, so if you have some highlights for that would be great. Let me see how I can. Yes. I'm Charlotte Pierce, and our assistant producer is Shannon Borum. She will not be joining us today, but she's done a lot of work behind the scenes. And our correspondents are Mark Wilson of All American Rowing Camp, Ryan Worth of the Tennessee Chattanooga, and Tara Morgan, of course, of Seize the Oar and Vashon Island Rowing Club. Ben Booth, he's a big coastal advocate, and Brenda Ballinger from New Hampshire, I think it's some Rowing Alliance, and New Hampshire Rowing Alliance, and the Lake Sunapee Rowing Club, and Allison Polini's down there at Carnegie Lake. She's our correspondent as well. And we are always available we love to have people subscribe, because then you get a notice of these kind of ad hoc podcasts and specials that we produce, like leading up to the convention. We've done 4 podcasts highlighting different aspects of it. So rowing.chat is where you subscribe, and you can subscribe to any of these podcasts or Ready Row USA. Just click on those little icons and you're good to go. So we have, as I said, Chris Chase, and I think you're probably you're shoveling out from your snow, but you're heading down to Philly soon, Chris?
Yes, we had 18 inches of snow, and it's still snowing hard.
Oh my gosh.
But it's supposed to snow till tomorrow morning, and then when I get the last shovel in, I'll drive on down.
Good. Well, I'm driving down with Brenda, and then we'll be meeting up with some people. I actually think we have encouraged a few people to come, especially since a lot of our readership is masters. And so, I think it's a good time. Sounds like I've never been, so you can have
the master speakers. Yeah, this year the master speakers are amazing, and there's still a couple seats left.
Cool. And now you have an app as well. Tara Morgan just told me about the app. I've got to install that. Is that available on your website?
Oh, is that the Shed? The Sked?
Yeah,
app?
I think so. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's really cool. Yeah, Susan Smith came up with that. That's amazing. And it's got all the speakers on it and all their bios, and it's really neat.
Yeah, I wish I could. I have a few that I extracted from the site, but it's the website is really well done. Congratulations on that. There's I just picked out some that I'm definitely going to go to. So this is one, Anita DeFrantz. Tell me a little bit about. Is she the keynote speaker, or the Friday keynote, or?
Well, we have Women in Rowing programming, and she is the keynote there. The keynote for both Saturday and Sunday morning will be Sir Matthew Pinsent from England. So he'll be over. Anita's going to have a signing. I mean, she's a rock star, so she's just a lot of energy to be around. And so that'll be a lot of fun. And I think that is on Friday is her signing.
I believe
Reba, I see.
Yeah, Reba's she's one of my favorite people in rowing. I went to her workshop last March, and Masters Women, and it was so inspiring. It was great. So
yeah, the Masters programming, there's a whole track for Masters. I don't think people realize that. So there's a whole track just for the Masters, and Jim Deese will do several, or do a couple of them, and Reba will do some. We also have some wellness. We have Liz Busco talking about sarcopenia.
Right. And she's the USRowing wellness person, right?
Yes, she is. Yep. And her topic this year is really, I mean, right in line with, as we're all just over 30 years of age, each of us. But I mean, really relevant to an athlete who continues to go out and compete in their golden years. That's one of the great tracks. I think one of the new tracks that's been added that has been expanded anyways.
Yeah, cool. Now, I had a question from a listener. What happened to the DEI track?
It got merged into some other programming on Friday. We didn't have a lot of people come out for it. So what we did was we just merged. The speakers are still coming, and the presentations are still going to happen. They were shortened to 45 minutes instead of an hour, and we fit them into one track. That worked well with our needs for the rooms. When we created the women's track, we needed rooms to be able to use more rooms. So
yeah, I know that Tara Morgan I think she's still scheduled to speak, but she's our correspondent for DEI, and will be so if you see her, or she'll contact you, send people her way. She's going to be doing some interviews for the podcast with those people, and we can kind of give some more depth to that for you. We'd love to do that. And my favorite speaker, Arshay Cooper, he's on paternity leave, I think. So
that's right.
Is he not coming, or
he won't be able to make it out this year? Congratulations to him though, and the family, huh?
I know, it's just the cutest kid I've ever seen. It's so great, and he's been on the podcast a few times. I just love, got to schedule him again, because we do the sort of city youth rowing topic a couple times a year. We've had Neil Bergenroth and Arshay and a couple other people who run those programs. We're going to try and get Amanda. Is it Amanda Krause with Row New York?
It is.
Yeah. So it would be great to have her on too.
We have a gentleman coming over from England, Steve O'Connor, who works in Fulham, and he does a lot of outreach programs. He does a lot of programs where actually he brings the ergs into prisons and stuff. I
heard about that. Yeah.
Yeah, he's just doing really outside the box kind of stuff. Very interesting stuff. So he'll be there on Friday and throughout the weekend as well.
Yeah, and Tara actually has an interview scheduled with him. So
good.
She's got him pinned down for that, and I'm really excited about that. We're actually, a bunch of us are trying to establish rowing in Nepal, where there is no rowing. Wow. There aren't even any boats, I think, but so some of those people know Steve, I guess, there's a woman in Hanley who's in our group who works in the prisons, and she knows Steve too. But erg program in the prisons. So what, you've talked a little bit about the Masters, but anything else that we didn't mention yet?
Well, I mean, one of the things that I wanted to do was, I found over the years with the convention and various conferences that people are really, as they develop as coaches, they really get into, they want to learn more about a certain area of expertise. So, we did things like, we did that's my son playing with my dog. They've come in from the snow.
That's very cute. No, we're very informal here.
We're very quiet for the rest of this call.
We love dogs. We're not a dog
podcast. So we expanded the coxswains. It seemed like there wasn't a whole lot for coxswains, and if you look at the people that are coming, just a lot of energy and a lot of experience. I tried to add up all their world championship medals and their Olympic medals, and it's nuts. So Pete Dipolone and Mary Whipple, they'll be here. I mean, obviously they're icons in the sport.
I'm sorry, who are those people?
Pete Dipolone and Mary Whipple, the most celebrated coxswains that I think we have in either gender going back. We have Kate Gregens coming in, Caitlin Snyder, as I knew when I met her when she was younger. She's our current coxswain, and she's really unique in that she asked me if Leah Warner could come. Leah Warner is the one of the newer coxswains on the staff for the women's team, and she's the up and comer. And so it was really cool to hear Caitlin ask if she could come, because you get the perspective of somebody who's sort of entrenched, who has been our go-to coxswain, and somebody who is working their way to come up. So there's probably a lot of different stresses going on there, right, between those two. So that'll be really interesting perspectives to have.
Yeah, I would like to just sample a little bit of the coxswain thing, because it's not something I know about. I've done a little bit of sweeps rowing, but mostly sculling. And I just, I would kind of like to do it. Is there something that will show me an introduction to, or should I just kind of grab somebody from one of those sessions and ask them how to get it?
I mean, both, I think. Laura Simon's going to be there. And Laura Simon, I've worked with Laura Simon for years, and I send all my coxswain tapes. So, I mean, we get a couple hundred kids a year that want to try out for the junior national team. Right. And since I coach the Cox 4 in the summers for the men, whenever people send me stuff, I send it to Laura Simon, and she really breaks it down, by inflection, by the pace of how fast and how slow you talk, the words that you use. It's just amazing. It's the whole science to be able to listen.
There's a lot of psychology in it, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
Like I was listening to the Henley narration, and it was like unadulterated, unfiltered.
That's for sure.
It was really great.
I love going on YouTube and listening to those things, because
I know it's like raw, just raw energy. It's just.
Well, and with the teenagers, you never know what's going to come out next. It's not as calculated as maybe the masters coxswains would be, but when the teenager gets in there, you just get your box of popcorn and just wait.
I know, right? I know. I love it. And so what else? I was talking to Susan about, actually I met her at the head of the Charles, and I was talking to her about referees, and, like the need for referees. Is there like a intro to refereeing?
Oh yeah, I mean, we have a lot of referees. They have their own programming, right? And anybody who was interested in getting involved in refereeing could certainly. I mean, you're going to have a wealth of knowledge at the convention, so it'd be easy to just pull anybody aside and get yourself roped into the ins and outs of how to start and where to go and what it entails.
That's great. Yeah, we had Jules Zane on the podcast a couple of weeks ago, and. He just made me want to to be referee too. So I got myself spread a little thin, I guess, with coxing and refereeing, but
we can never have too many. I mean, we don't have enough as it is, and rowing's only getting bigger. The number of events are getting bigger, but the number of weekends isn't. So, I mean, we're going to need more and more.
Yeah. Well, I was down at last year All-American Rowing Camp with Sherry Kent. Do you know her?
I'm sorry, no.
Yeah, she actually connected me with Jules. She's a referee. She goes all over the South.
Oh wow,
it's amazing. Like how she's from Georgia, but she's traveling all over all the time. She's a really dedicated referee. So I love her.
Oh, it's amazing the miles they put in a season and in a year.
Yeah. Well, and then tell me a little bit. Oh, someone asked about what is the Rock the Row part? Is that the Boathouse Row? Is there some kind of a tour? Or
that is the I think it's somewhere between old friends meeting up along Boathouse Row and somewhere between a pub crawl meets catching up with old friends. And,
I love it.
And depending on where you are in your life, you'll find varying levels of those things.
I get it. Well, our correspondent Tara, who told me about this, she said, make sure I can get into the Rock the Row party. She's going to do like a special little video production of it. and she said, this is what I'm going for.
Well, I mean, as you get older, the boathouses are so cool. I mean, they're miniature museums, right? And so to go, I mean, I go in and look at the trophies and stuff from the late 1800s and all that, and it's so cool to see everything. And then you have the young bucks, of course, and those are the stories that will be told for years to come. And for that age group, but there's a little bit of everything, and it's funny. You're standing around and you meet somebody, you shake somebody's hand, you find out that they were in the Olympics in the 60s or the 70s, and you're like, it's so really cool humbling.
Yeah, like at the head of the Charles, I just met all these people. Like I interviewed Judy Willman and her daughter. Judy is the daughter of Joe Rance. It's like, wow.
The history is incredible.
Yeah,
so.
Exactly. Yeah. So let's see. What else do we tell people? Get the app. That's a great.
Definitely get the app.
Because Tara said you could schedule yourself and into different sessions. And if people just walk up, will they be able to get in? And
yes, there's registration at the door. We're opening the window again on Wednesday for registration. There won't be any late fees, so nobody has to worry about that.
Nice.
People are more than welcome to register online. We're going to open that on Wednesday, noon, I believe. And I mean, obviously, it's easy to do that, but it'd be better if people, you can register at the door. But that's just
Well, if I run a concert series here in Boston area, and like people out, like more than half the people walk in at the door. It's just like it gives me a heart attack.
We're expecting quite a few. Well, I mean, it's funny. It's crazy. Everybody always comments about how organized rowing seems to be and how with it we're all on the ball.
It's the seat of the pants.
I always think like we're flying by the seat of our pants. I host some huge regattas up here. And everybody's like, "Oh, you got everything under control." And I'm thinking in the back of my head, like, there's fireworks going off. Everything's. I always feel like we're last minute, and rowing coaches are like, we put in our entries the night before the regatta. It's
because they're so focused in the moment. I think like my coaches they just zero in on what needs to be done right then. Yep. And I think that kind of translates to a lot of different life activities. But anyway.
No, it's definitely going to be a fun time. I mean, you've used the word energy a couple of times. The speakers that we have are just incredible. They bring so much energy. And the people planning all the talks, you talk about Jules and stuff. I mean, just really incredible people that overseeing the various tracks. And then the speakers we're bringing in, like if you've never been around Mary Whipple or Pete Chipolone, or you think about a guy like Steve Gladstone, and we have the Olympic coaches there. There's just going to be such a wealth of knowledge to sit back and just take it all in. It's going to be a pretty incredible game.
I love it. And and so like I said, we're going to be there in the exhibit hall. And we'd like to so if anybody's listening and you want to stop by and just pop on our live show at 7 p.m., that's what we're scheduling it for now. The reality may be different, but just check with us down there. Are there vendor specials? Like, could I buy a boat for half price or something?
Well, I would love to be able to say that, yes, every vendor is going to sell their boats for half price right now, but I'd probably lose all my friends
I know.
That are vendors.
I'll take a fluid at half the price.
I don't know what they're going to. I mean, they all run their own
for sure.
specials, right? I'm sure there will be some. There's a lot of vendors that are going to be there. But one thing I'd like to add is on Friday, we're going to have what we call the Summit Talks. And the Summit Talks they're free. So anybody can come to those. So if you didn't have the budget to go do the whole conference, Friday, we're going to do what we call the Summit Talks. And they're going to be from everything from lightweight rowing, junior lightweight rowing, and where that's headed. Because that was a big topic, right? I mean, we had 16,000 people signed a petition. So we're going to have, they're 1 hour talks, long-term athlete development. Our sport has exploded, and in any sport that explodes so quickly, the natural evolution is that you start them younger and you start them younger and you start them younger. Well, we never talked about, rowing for younger people like that, loading up their backs and specializing in one sport. So we're going to have talks about that. We're going to have talks about our Olympic development program, which is for juniors and for college age kids. So there's going to be a talk about that. We're going to talk about indoor rowing. That seems to be the largest area of growth in the last 5 years. thanks to things like CrossFit and Row House and.
Yeah, you have Bruce Smith of Hydro coming down, don't you?
Yes, we do. Yep. I mean, before Bruce was Hydro, he was the guy who developed, created, or with many others, of course, the largest club in the world. Yeah. And his breadth of knowledge and 43 programs within that Sierra boathouse is insane.
Yeah, we have about 100 Concept 2 machines there too. So it's not just promoting Bruce, the Hydro,
of course.
Yeah, yeah.
So there's so much going on. I mean, you can, I've always felt like at convention and conferences and all that, all these speakers are amazing. The ability to meet them and talk to them outside of the presentation is just as equally as amazing.
I know. People in rowing are so approachable. I've only been rowing for 7 years, and I got kind of addicted, and now here I'm running a podcast about it.
Right? It is an addiction. But, it's amazing with beer. You can get anybody to sit down and have a talk with you, especially rowers.
Yeah, so bring beer. Yeah.
The carb loading is a big part of our sport, so very important.
Well, listen, let's catch up when I get there. I'm going to probably start setting up on Thursday. So if anybody wants to stop by, you're welcome to. And I would like to mention, let's see, I'm going to roll through here. We have a sponsor on rowing.chat/sponsors. You can find all our current sponsors. Rebecca Caro, our executive producer, did a special kind of rundown on rowing gloves, which are a great stocking stuffer or Hanukkah gift or whatever you're giving for. We also have rowing related. It's a new news site for rowing news, and you can find the special on the subscription at rowing.chat/sponsors. And oh gosh, I'm on the wrong screen. Citius Remix will secure your sore butt in those long erg sessions. So they are a sponsor this month as well, and this is a Danish rower who was the inspiration for this seat pad. And Rebecca's actually tried it out, and she swears by it now. So it's like it takes a slight adjustment. It's just not like a lot of other seat pads. It has some padding here and there that you need to get used to, but it's solved this guy's issues with, actually he got nerve deadening in his legs. So this was why he developed that, or they developed that. We're also sponsored by Rowing Tales, which is just now this week come out. Rebecca Caro is the editor, and it's available on Amazon in paperback, and I think the Kindle version is free. But it's got I got a story in there. I got my Jim Dietz alligator story. So need I say more? He's a great storyteller, but this wasn't really one of his stories. It was just something that happened when he was coaching me at the All-American Rowing Camp. So it's really kind of a fun. And there's
down in DeLand.
Yeah. So I'm going to be going down there at the end of December, and then I'm going to go over to Saratoga and meet up with Jim Henderson and do some coastal rowing, I think. So.
You mean Sarasota, I hope.
Sarasota!
Yeah, you won't be doing much rowing up here until mid-April.
Ice rowing, which looks like a fun thing too. Anyway, on our site, on our show notes, everything will be in the show notes, so don't worry if you've missed something. We have club news. We like to feature rowing clubs across the country, so please send us in. It's your events and accomplishments. We just love, it doesn't matter if you're a tiny little club or a huge one, but gadgets and gear, always a favorite topic. There's a form there for that as well, and we will highlight that. We usually do one a month. We're now on our 40th podcast, or 42nd podcast.
Wow.
Yeah, so we've been going a year. We have a 1-year anniversary, and it's just been so much fun. I love connecting people through this format. It's just fun, having too much fun. Rowing.chat/sponsors is where you can find our sponsors who make it possible for us to put this on and pay our internet bills and stuff. This is not the hashtag. The hashtag is RRUSA Philly, Philly. So use that on the social media, and you can win gadgets and gear and services from our podcast crew and vendors and sponsors. My company is Pierce Press. I'm the producer of Rowing Chat. And Mark Wilson is our senior correspondent. Another senior correspondent is Ryan Worth. He's going to be back hosting soon, and he is a fabulous host. And they both know a lot about, they know everyone in rowing.
Yes, they do.
Yeah, those guys are great. And like I said, Tara and Brenda are going to be with us at the convention covering things like DEI and the Masters content. We have amazing winter programming coming up, and I know a lot of you row through the winter, even though we don't up here in Boston and New York. But we're very jealous, and we try and get down to the south as much as we can to get on the water, because it's really, it's like sensory deprivation when you can't row. But Chris, thank you so much for coming on at the last minute. I really appreciate it. I think you're the perfect person to give an overview of the convention, and I hope people will take the idea to come down and just stop by. So,
well, thanks for having me, Charlotte, and thanks for doing this. I think it's awesome to be able to connect through people like yourself and with our sport.
Well, the energy is there, as you say. So thanks again. I'll close it out, and thanks. We'll be back Thursday night at 7, if not before. So subscribe, please subscribe, and you'll get a notification of our, whenever we put on like if we have an impromptu session, we'll put that out, and you'll get a notification if you're a subscriber. Thank you so much. Take care. See you there.
See you.